You can do a... you pick Lifestealer into Razor and Lich. That doesn't feel good. A lot of the heroes that I'm looking at, they're like, yeah, okay, you attack the timing.
You just think, right? You think like, oh, you're going to pick this right clicker. Oh, wait, there's a Razor. You know?
Yeah, like... of the troll that you mentioned earlier. There's this, ooh, like it. Well, good objective taker. Yep. That replaces the Terrorblade nicely. And has that physical damage. You don't care about the Razor. You're good at assaulting the Spectre too. This was a sick pick.
Yeah, comes along online a lot earlier than this Spectre will. He'll be pushing him, wanting to get him on the back foot and make Keen react where I really don't think they want to. He's also pretty reliable in not getting hit by that Spike Carapace damage. You don't have basically any AoE that's going to be coming out from this Lycan. He's going to have a sole focus, take down these towers, maybe chase down the supports first, but that'll be done in really quick measure.
So we know the lineup for MINESKI for our first game of the grand final. Keen have one final pick. The final pick of draft number 1.
They need to stall. They need to stall for as long as possible. Lina, I think it's good at pushing out these waves, dealing with a lot of creeps and Necrobook minions that might be coming out.
So you want to run like a Razor Nyx Assassin off lane against the Lycan, get a different mid for ourselves?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the possibility of either way. I could still see an off lane. There is, for mids, there's like Kunkka's really good catch for you. There's like faster heroes like the Lina or Quap for the off lane. There's not a whole lot. I mean, wish there was still Darkseer left in the pool.
They don't really have catch, right, on Keen? Yeah, you got the Nyx, but you kind of have to be right in deep for it. They've gone right down to the last second, and it's a Tide Hunter.
Tide does well into the Lycan. Gives you this big team fight that you want to be able to defend your high ground against this MINESKI lineup. You can put that Tide Hunter in the front lines and feel relatively safe that he's going to be able to get off his Ravage. There's just not quite enough playmakers for me on Keen to feel super excited about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a tendency to just keep on going for whatever lineup is going to be playing faster. And the combination of team fight does allow MINESKI to push this. Like, even if this game goes 35, 40 minutes, they can still be able to play into Keen because of how good their team fight is from their supports.
Okay, I'm going to put you both on the spot for a change. I know we don't do predictions an awful lot these days, but I'd like to this time round. Daniel, which way?
I'm going for my boy KP. Let's go, Australia.
Good stuff.
Well, I think Keen is going to take this series, but I think there's going to be one game where MINESKI is just going to show that they can keep up with Keen when it comes to the tempo of the game, and this is looking like a lineup that can do it. I'll go MINESKI as well.
Okay, all right. 2 out of 2 as far as MINESKI are concerned, and fans here on the panel, but they don't get to decide this. It's the team's chance to decide as we head into game 1 of the grand final. It is grand final time at ESL 1 Mumbai. I hope you are prepared, both in body, mind, and caffeine. MINESKI versus Keen. This one, we can go the distance. We can have some late game heroes. Kyle, we can have well-rounded drafts from MINESKI. It feels good.
Real quick, though, you asked if the crowd was ready, and I didn't hear a peep. Crowd? Hello? That's more like it.
I'll count that as a peep. Let's focus on our game. We'll bring it serious now. Before the hype, we'll have time for that. We've got 5 full games hopefully coming our way. Draft in for MINESKI. They got the ES. They managed to slip through the ban pool, and Keen were willing to actually do this. There was discussion about oh yeah, you let Enigma through, but ES is in. The Wyvern stolen pick from MINESKI. They've got this real nice synergy. A great Slaughter pickup as well, which we've seen a lot of success with KP on. A lot of great things that seems to just be adding up for MINESKI with their draft.
And I think it's a great example example of what makes BO5 series so special. This is why teams just love playing in finals, because you get a chance to truly test out your Dota, and you make little tweaks. I love that we see the Lycan stolen from TNC. I think that could be an excellent hero to play up against Keen very fast. This lineup of MINESKI can have so much tempo if they're able to win the lanes. The big weakness of heroes like Nyx and Lich and Spectre is that if you're on their structures by 20-25 minutes, they really don't have much of a counterplay.
So how do they actually slow this up? Like, how does Keen buy that time, knowing that MINESKI want to play the fast pace? Because normally it's Keen that we keep talking about, saying that they are the fast pace runners.
Yeah, and they've had a much slower lineup created at the moment, but it's worked out so well for them so far. I think this mid lane is going to be critical. Razor versus SF. Moon going for the nuke first build. I think this is the right play. As you can see, if you try and last hit,
let's go mid lane. Courier snipe. It's in there from Djibouti. He's range to the Arctic. Already able to catch up between the towers. That's going to be really problematic for Yi.
Yeah, well, it's been currently my MVP for King Gaming, so it's a huge slay right there from Ninja Boogie, and a ton of gold as well. Does slow down his top lane. I love the Tide. I expected a Tide, an Underlord, or possibly a Timbersaw. They needed some huge, like, walrus of a hero to just plant himself between the MINESKI lineup and the objectives, and Tide is especially good against both Lycan and Slardar because of the Anchor Smash and the fact that you can't really stun lock this hero because of Kraken Shell.
Also the fact that Level a lot more time on this top lane. Ninja Boogie was killing off the courier mid. It's been a great effect, but Lycan CS, it's not terrible. But Tidehunter can get ducked from range every time this Arctic Burn comes off cooldown. You see Ajit as well as Ninja Boogie doing as much damage as possible to him. While Febby is just never-ending roamer. He can't help the off lane. It's a defensive tri-lane against KP. All he can do is leech experience on the off.
But this is one of, like, I think since Dota 1, right, a vintage combo. Shadow Fiend, Earthshaker, you're going to have the setup for multiple nukes, one Fisher block. When SF is level 3 or 5, that Razor is surely going to go down. And you want to be able to play aggressive as Shadow Fiend. You don't want somebody able to run at you under tower, especially a hero like Razor that wins his matchups when he's able to be that aggressor.
If you can get those items early enough in the farm against Moon, it's going to help out. So far, however, that CS is not looking fantastic. Still only 8-0, and Febby is waiting, but he's waiting underneath the Radiant Observer ward, so there's no way that Yi gets caught out.
Yeah. Still is quite annoying, though. You kind of have to watch the Shadow Fiend outlast at you. Top lane, they're going for just a little bit, but...
Yeah, with the Splinter Blast, and the Wall's looking to do the body block. Burnt, running through that live of Tidehunter. It's still not enough. It's 780 HP they've got to get through. That's a lot of work.
Oh, Febby's so close to landing the block. That would have been a sure kill on Razor. Instead, he's just going to solve up problems.
We need to trap him on that northern side of the mid-river. So SF can hit in.
Important to note, Keen don't have any hero that's capable of rotating towards jungle. That's why this mid matchup for Yi is so important, because you don't have a core that's free to impact the other lanes unless the Razor's ahead and can look to just run their counter gang TP in. Otherwise, MINESKI's going to be able to make moves far more.
Shields are up. A little deep. Ninja Boogie's going to try and help him get out of this one, but Kane didn't have life. And first blood is built by Keen.
Yeah, this is all because Fed is just not playing with him. He's looking to secure mid lane, but very tough down bottom against Lich, one of the better heroes at zoning in a 2-on-1 scenario. You can see why. He just chased down with the Frost Shield the last 6 seconds.
Especially when he prioritizes leveling it too.
Yep.
It's a 1-2-0 build for that level 3 Lich.
Yeah.
So if KP wants to keep coming closer, he can do so. Boogie is now forced to sit on bottom lane. Not his desire.
Yep.
As Tidehunter is just zoning in Lycan, and now you start to see the CS start to crop up. With 2 points up in Anchor Smash, Lycan's got a lot harder time locking down the Tide.
And I will say, the one thing that I fear is when we saw TNC play that really long game yesterday against Keen, the thing they were missing was a break mechanic against the Spectre. And in that game, they also had an offlaner that would have been affected, Underlord. This game, you have Tide. I question whether or not this Shadow Fiend could have easily just been a Viper and increased not like really the late game scaling potential and the early game tempo, and it's a better laner. Because if you don't have a Silver Edge at any point in this game, eventually the Spectre Tide get way out of control and you just don't kill them. That's going to be a concern for MINESKI.
And this is a very different type of hero for Moon. It's not the time he's been playing, which is like, I get a Blink Dagger, I'm being enabled. This is now I actually need my stat and I need a break mechanic.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things to put on pressure on his back. Lich, a little bit far up. KP is trying to move over. He's run out of sprint, but then the shield come up the Lich. Febby wants to pump more damage. In fact, he's the one with that last hit. No, he can't get into the dark. Needs a little bit more. KP with a little crush is able to buy a little bit of time to get his between Old Chicken and Kaka and himself. And even salving right in front of them, wanting to try and keep this pressure on. They've got Crush available, and then looking over towards the next assassin. Spike Carapace is keeping that Crush going. Looking for this from Kaka. Support coming in from Lich. The frost and the shields. Kaka, he'll survive up 14 HP. They've already killed off KP, but Old Chicken, does he want more? He wants the 5-minute bounty rune. He won't be able to claim, but he might be able to claim Febby's life. Another Spectral Dagger, and Febby will fall.
Really well played by King Gaming. Man, another example of stealing. You can get the Lycan from TNC on MINESKI, but you remember OG TI and abusing this Spectre with damage reduction stacking? Lich Armor is at max level 60% damage reduction. When you combine that with the dispersion, you're still reflecting the pre-reduction damage to your enemies, but you're only taking like 15% of it. This is unbelievable when you consider MINESKI kind of have to the Spectre if they ever want to win the game. So if you don't take out Lich, it's going to be very problematic. Almost all of their damage is physical, unless Moon goes for more of a magic build.
That's when you're like, okay, my corrosive pace needs to work harder. Like, he's not having mana to try and dispel it. So it's a lot of extra problems for MINESKI. They are still off to a decent start with their core, even going up against the Titan to Lycan. He's not far behind the CS. Moon's already rotated up, looking for this kill onto Old 11. He just needs to land a stun. Here comes your Fissure. The perfect side, but the Razors and into the trip. Old 11 doesn't have the mana for a TP. He's short by 10, now 5. But Febby needs to find him. Old 11 to buy time. TP's now off cooldown. He's in the trees and begins it. And it all Febby won't find the top.
Really well put by Old 11 to quality that true. It's a known juke spot, but it would be almost always possible to escape.
And now they see that rotate. King Gaming, they know they can get initiated. Up against KP, pulled back in by the Synergy Gaze, trying to bait the cross. Despite Carapace to connect KP, able to survive. As King Gaming is a little bit uncertain about when their stun can layer.
This will be interesting. I'm curious to see what build Moon goes here. I expect standard Arcane's mech. You got a lot of options. He's left the lane mid for Febby, who's only level 2 because he's been playing around this lane so much without actually taking experience. So far game very even, less than 1,000 gold. It actually is just swapping back and forth, so a completely even game.
And it feels pretty good at the moment for both sides, but as you said, like the ES just needs a couple of levels. He's getting out of mid, is to keep up with Kaka. We're both walking around the 4-minute mark at level 1s, and finally they'll be able to see either sit in one lane or the other.
Kilo tiles. What kind of stat is that? I mean,
that's
it's hard enough for me to go miles to meters, all right?
Fissure, a big block for Febby. He has no way up the race to trap him with a ship fin. Shortly, trying to take down to it from Moon, but it won't matter when he can get the razors up and the stun, holding back the dog. He wants to dive under the tower. Ajit really needs to find this kill over on the mid razor, able to claim it. This is now in for like the last 2 minutes. FF and Lycan sitting in the same lanes together, moving from top down to the mid.
Yep. So rotate from Ajit, and that's the HOD. This is what Lycan provides. Anytime your ult is active, you can make that move, but they weren't able to get a tower, which means their next chance will be around the 10-minute catapult wave.
Moon really was coming down here because he wanted to get the regeneration rune, but they'll force the Lich to take heavy damage and probably have to walk all the way back to base.
Yeah, dude, Old 11 almost level. And though up KP is halfway to 7. Big advantage for the Tide Hunter. This is the hero to watch for Keaton because he's actually what's going to be able to slow the tempo and stop MINESKI's push in its tracks if he just plants himself on that tower.
He's also going to get a lot of those support items up very early on. We're building heavily towards the Vlads.
Yep. It's just a great item. Back armor here. There's so physical damage on MINESKI. It's really just the Shadow Fiend nuke and the eventual Shaker Blink that threatens you.
Look for a fight. Dog form still on cooldown for 50 seconds. They start with the slow down on the Razor. The Stomp is out to central. The neutral dash helping out. All 11 forced into the Ravage. Connects over on 4. And this will create the best King Gaming to retreat.
It's well done. They're keep Kaka mid that whole time as well. You're just soaking up that free farm and XP. It's a timing now for MINESKI, though. You've got Catapult Wave and Bounty Runes in 30 seconds. You have Lycan ult up just before then. I'd like to see them make a move. You can even see them align toward the bottom, but I think they need a more high-value objective here. Top power, perhaps, but preferably mid if they can make a huge move towards it.
They're actually smoked up, moving around there. They're going to have this break on Kafka, moving down river. So it'll be the Fissure stun, holding him in position. He's already used his Fire Carapace to kind of trap a rock wall. He wants to just push off the edge of the cliff, but looks like Nixus don't know how to jump.
Oh my god, look, one bash with Slaughter on him.
Spectre's already keeping it. He goes all the way back to Fountain. Spectral Hawk can get him to the front lines, but
yeah, this is key though for MINESKI because they were able to push out mid and bottom at the same time. They forced away all these Keen heroes who have more limited wave clear than we're used to seeing them, to be honest. It's really just the Tide and the Razor right now that are going to be able to play lanes. Spectre will accelerate as time goes on, but he's more of a fighter and prefers to be in a lane all by his lonesome, which MINESKI is not willing to provide at the moment. I like the way they get around the map. Never in the safe lane, he's just taking the dead lane, spamming his W. SF mid can connect in either direction. The team
waiting to initiate. Oh, KP, able to get the shot by the Fire Carapace. A Fissure, it's a 3-man. Maybe there's some time. No. Push back. That's in the gaze. KP still insanely tanky. He
to the Black Seas.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
it.
those as Keen Gaming, but MINESKI do claim the tower.
I'm waiting for Moon to pull the Hobson right now. He's got the Arcane Rune SF with 4 points in Shadow Rays. I don't know if he can slip it and take Roshan.
No, that's... We're much better in pubs than professional games, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like King Gaming may be working out that he's disappeared. But by the way, going for the mech builds, a lot of at least is saying that that MINESKI are able to utilize earlier on, especially if you don't get the same stuff out from the Slaughter. They're initiating into mid. Wow, and the Echo Slam. They have the damage to kill the full chicken. A 3-time killing spree. Going towards that Blink Dagger Fund of Febby.
I love the build on KP as well. I see a lot of max stuff. He actually chooses to go for max bash and then 2-point sprint. So he's able to close the gap very quickly once the push goes out. And then he lands his own bash into the stun, into the echo. It's just 100-0. Nothing old chicken can do there. Really nice kill, because that is the hero that would eventually secure the late game for...
Yeah, I'm loving this dire scan that came from MINESKI. It hit Kaka as he was moving through the mid lane towards the north. So Moon just backed up behind the tower, expecting this Titan to try and get very aggressive in Kaka's initiation. Battling into an SF or as mech, even when Gush hits, like SF doesn't really care that much. He's still got that burst regeneration from mech as well as the 14 magic 1 charges which have been just stored up.
Yeah, and if you look mid, they're just continuing to pressure. This is how you want to be playing Lycan. Always trying to position yourself in the active jungle. He's playing without boots, so he's got to stay close to the objectives.
There's Winter Wife attacking through the rear. He's got Curse of Fireball, a Fall Trap up to begin with, but MINESKI, remember what for. Tier 1 in the mid lane. They have to break this down to open up Roshan.
Yeah, the Tide is planting himself there. No haunt for 50. Not a power I think you can really defend here is Keen. MINESKI lineup really starting to come online.
Okay, he's waiting for the sprint. Oh, actually, just wait for the Fissure. Allowing for the double stuns. The tower's being brought down. Time can't get the revenge kick out. He still got wrapped. He'll hit all 5. He pops it now, but it's the ball. Turning around all over. Left the souls out. And Keen Gaming.
He didn't take anything. He's still half HP on the Tide. They blew everything on the Shadow Fiend. He triple nuked it with his ultimate, and you can see that's the problem with MINESKI's draft. You're going to get these towers, but Keen do a great job of damage control. They ensure that, yes, you can take my tower, but you need to commit all 5. Next top, the sector bottom, so we're going to continue to out-GPM you around the map for every bit of our bait you look to take.
But, okay, so is this now down to like Moon build? Did he need to have more damage to try and offset it instead of going for like a Greaves?
There's nothing you can do to kill Tide Hunter with Lich Armor on him. It's all about finding the backline, which at this phase of the game is difficult.
The top is coming over from King Central. Ball gets planted, allowing for the curse to happen. He has a thing, doesn't actually, well, he's got the mana for the X. He wants to put the judges, which now Febby has done. Rash comes out, Febby, he doesn't have time to hit that R button, and the dive comes underneath the tower. Lycan knows he just has to run himself away into the wolf form and away from the tier 1 tower, which King Game
is another thing Keen's been doing so well this entire lower bracket run of theirs. The cooldown control. Yeah, you use your Ravage, you only hit one, but the usage, and now you force the Lycan to pop the ultimate as well. So you equalize the spell usage, and it throws off MINESKI's timing. You don't ever want to be making a play with a no-boots Lycan if he doesn't have that ultimate available. It's just a way to slow down the time. They get the tower. You always want to be looking to make these plays enemy time. You don't want to be doing, say, at your bottom tier 2.
That is big. So much as the King gets hung around as long as all the damage. It won't matter. Ultra can still.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Cannot endure.
Razor already bottom. He might even be able to beat KP to that other rune, but won't even go for it. I think the slaughter would have at the first anyway. Very even on the rune pickup, and I love that average time. It just demonstrates how well these teams are playing around these other runes thus far.
And they're really keeping, King Gaming are really keeping MINESKI's farm areas under threat. There's no area the SF can just back up and feel very comfortable. But it's saying that, Moon still found a lot of space. He's number 1 in the net worth. He's 500 in front of the Spectre. Keep in mind too, there's 5 kills all while Moon has had 0. In fact, he's only got 1 assist in his name.
And I want to continue reiterating, like, OG, they won TI. I don't want to take anything away from them. They abuse something super duper. Spectre dispersion plus damage reduction. You can even see Keen aware of this. He's rushing a Crimson Guard. You've got a Lich. You put all of these on a Spectre. Block 1-2 dispersion. 60% from the brush. Full damage dealt to Spectre is done for your entire draft. You attempt to kill him while he's barely even tickled. You can't attack the Spectre to ignore him. How do you do this when he's popping on and you saw there? He'll be doing that all game. Just diving on 4 heroes, even on top of an active shine. He's invincible.
They're looking for a jump on bottom lane. Eye Hunter. He's the bait once again. MINESKI don't want this, but Nav moved underneath the Observer and Central Ward, planted down already, so Dark sees this entire movement up. There's no jump. There's just Nyx Assassin running forward. Even Tidehunter's going death, not Blink Dagger, so he has to close the just by running the phase boots. But MINESKI, they up in the light runs to the side. KP got the distance and he's got the speed. And they weren't looking to fight him, MINESKI. Ivan's all back up top doing the push.
Yep. That's how you got to play it. But this is where the Radiant side advantage comes in, because Keen, you can't do road yet, but this MINESKI lineup can at any moment. They're able to get just a little bit of an opening, so you want to conserve your cooldowns. This game will go late. You can see KP even preparing for it. You could argue maybe a blink would help, but there's just no need to try and team fight at the moment the way Keen is playing. It's so difficult. Just ensure you're going to scale. 11 going for that Vlad's so you would never think that would be a thing as recent as 2017, but
hey, I remember when Denny tried this the modification, trying Desolator Maelstrom, where the 2 items would combine together. But as you said, they look towards Roshan. We see the new Observer wards. A lot of the time they planted a little bit further to the north, around like that, like just north of Roshan, like in that little box there.
Yep.
But
eerie society on this game, and they recognize their win condition here. I think if you're MINESKI, you need to force a fight around this next rune spawn, or maybe Roshan. You just have to get this game going. Sector's already at 3K. He's got to complete. He'll have a Radiance by that 25-minute bounty rune fight. I don't think you can afford to let this game
drop off. Like later into the game, like this damage reduction sounds fantastic because the items get bigger for MINESKI. It sounds like they'll have better ways to deal with it, unless you can walk through trees. At which point, then you have no way to even reach all.
You can't. That's the thing, though, Toby. You can't deal with damage reduction. There's nothing you can do about it. He's just taking less damage, and he's dealing it back to your team. It's one of those concepts, the part of why I stress the break mechanic. If you don't have that, there's no way to stop Keen Gaming's draft from doing what it's designed to do.
Well, MINESKI have to find it. It's sometime soon. They're looking at BKBs for the moment and finishing up the higher level Necrobooks as BKB on the SF and the Slaughter.
Yep. That'll be their real go time. The Necro 3 Lycan, the BKB SF. You've invested so much into those items that you kind of have to make them work ASAP. The blink is up on Shaker.
That it is, but Desolator also gets completed for the Tidehunter. They'll smoke up Keen. And walking around Roshan, but that's not the target. They are coming in deeper now. Ninja Boot is going to be the one to break the smoke with the Observe Ward. He's going to break to the skies as quickly as he possibly can. Not doing any kind of damage. The Spike Crappers being wasted. Febby taking him the tree. They just keep looking around. But Ninja Boot, he just had to cross the riversides. KP is nearby, but I don't know if he can really help out. It's just again, 20-minute bounty rune. Like keeping every minute looked at the pro around the so Ninja. No, will pull back. I don't. Curse will do little to nothing apart from Curse on cooldown for another 7 seconds.
Uneven game, but just that whole chicken network and 500 gold plus the relic all spooky. For the MINESKI fans out there, those BKB timings are going to need to do serious work. In the blink, straight Midas BKB. He'll have that about at the same time Moon has his, so that's the spot for MINESKI to get going.
Maybe we approach this from a different angle. Like we're talking about the BKB's stuff and the fights. What about the push power? The Aspect is really great at doing the split push, but you got a level 3 Necrobook already on the Lycan. Is this a better angle? Is it like not take the fight and just force Keen into a trade?
Is, but Keen isn't going to give you the trades. They're not looking. You just saw them smoke through enemy jungle. They are not playing a hat and mouse game. They're a come over here, but it's play.
Oh, they are. They're looking right at KP with the initial stun from the next assassin. He was just out of range of that sentry wall at the dire side. So KP will die. Already MINESKI are walking away. Ivan back to the top lane, doing once again the counter push back out.
Is on an en route to Old Chicken.
Need another gold KP. KP was down significantly. He still needs another 100-ish gold before he can complete the BKB.
And now if you want to plant your Spectre bottle and then run towards this mid tower and try to control enemy jungle. Yeah, or just go start hitting.
Stands no chance. It's 7 armor from his 12. And no one's going to contest the Tidehunter. Febby is looking at it. Maybe he thinks about the denial, but he doesn't think any more about it. Tide will now...
Generation.
Yeah. Off the trees as well as not trap the Titan with you.
We're ready to go. Febby, you know, a lot of people in the crowd have him as their MVP right now, not just because he's the ex-boyfriend, but because he's played excellent. The smoke might have to work. But look, Keen, like they're so aware, they're going to just plant themselves on high ground. How does MINESKI actually find the reach to get onto this back line right now?
They have to be thinking they just popped one hero, but it's going to be a hero who doesn't have buyback.
Look top, like look how Old Chicken is playing. Keen are very aware of what MINESKI wants to do. It's all about this Roche pit. Just bait the tanky Razor who has completed that Crimson Guard. Nobody get picked off.
The Wolves just got someone underneath the Observer Ward, even though they were smoked for a small fraction of a second. They put an aggressive wall, but it's underneath the sentry of Keen as well. This aren't going for MINESKI. Vision comes out, they'll see the Tidehunter. It just holds them back, and Dart's waiting inside the pit. He's ready to absolute chaos. Either lit, the stuns are out. No, we're just killing up.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
From this unstoppable Keen when they brought at him.
See, the key for MINESKI is they did it well in that they got the glitch. They actually twice and the next Lycan minions alone with alt form pop solo either support. The problem is you can't get the rest of your draft onto them because they've got to get through move.
On the left, just run straight up and down that BKB. You can't get out, but that's why you got the army. But that's also why you got Raven. Shadow Fiend will go down. They move their attention to Ninja Boogie. Spectral Dagger unable to be thrown. Wyvern gets up the hill.
Look, Lycan being tracked.
They got support coming in. Spectre, he's already beginning his TP. This will be easily cancelled. Kaka was just waiting for it. The Wolves come back over. Lycan is kind of stranded for the moment. And that's why they rotate the other heroes. Not going to go far enough north to catch out the Lycan, but they'll kill off the rest of the Donated Crips.
Dude, and Old 11 just bought a BKB on Tidehunter.
He's #1 net worth.
It's just so cool. Traditionally, you'd see the Tide going for defense, right? But he's going for damage because his kit actually gives him that survivability, where Razor, he's all in for the team fight.
Got it. He steals the bounty rune. Here's your first crush, and he is also Old 11. You don't do anything apart from give TP more times to bash him. TP support coming over, but it's all way too late. It was SF and it's that you know, help you on.
Reminds
I
me
need
of,
more items.
Reminds me of like Tickle Me Elmo, right? You just keep poking them, you get the voice lines, but nothing's actually happened. Can't touch this Tidehunter, and you know, Keen get the play. They get a bit of pressure. They use their ultimates. Now again, back to retreat. You're gonna have a man fight on Spectre. It's up 10 seconds.
I think we'll run down, kill the courier. It fires up, it's bouncing up the tree lines. Ninja Boogie, he is dead. Does not have a TP control. Could not find a way out. This one. And 3 heroes will claim almost at the tier 3 towers, Keen.
Yep. You can see he understanding his thing as well. Like newbie yesterday. Of what Wings used to do.
Well, it's something we always gave the Easting credit for. Like, you analyze the strategies, you refine it, and you make it better. And then you're able just to add it to your arsenal. Febby, he needs to help out top lane. Moon, he's thinking about BKB wind up, but there's 4 he's dead. And Febby will have to...
I just don't know what you're like here. MINESKI got the BKBs on all 3 cores, but how do you use them so long as Kane protect this formation?
I am very uncertain. They push the mid lane, they push the bottom lanes. They're at least making, like, this is kind of like where I thought MINESKI's strength was. They can keep these lanes always pressured in. If Keen want to go for Urshan, that's when they're like, well, maybe I do need to try something. KP's been just continuously moving through the jungle, farming up. The fact that King Gaming feel like they're in such control, the graph is going the way for experience, but the gold doesn't look the same. This is still MINESKI forcing down the lanes. Yes, and they're only like 1 tier 2 tower ahead. And now they're going to lose Roshan as well, so this will be the real test, is their ability to ult, but King have to waste time because they have to come back to deal with bottom lane.
Triumvirate of war placed around Roche.
Try and be dead. That is so fast into Kaka. They make it. Try and they've got enough. The Ravage. Someone can be all they try. Oh, that was not. There is already your scepter over on the Razor. Triple kill for Yi. Mr. Tears is very negligible.
Ports maybe, the cores hell no thus far for MINESKI, and God, it's just, it's like watching who's that Zerg player that was super good and never lost? I guess it's Serral now, but he just spread the creep, and eventually it feels like you own the entire map, and right now that's what Keen looks to do. They've got the Aegis, all ults on cooldown, so no reason to get too aggressive. MINESKI, you're looking for some sort of big team fight. You need a Wyvern ulti to counter-initiate, but so long as you can continue this like split initiation, Razor diving in, Tide as well, but not so close that they would be in range of that AoE. Spectre's going on a backline target. If you check out the graphs on XP, on gold, on win probability, you'll notice a trend here.
Yeah, everything's starting to move up. I thought like it was a bad point to bring up the cold, and then all of a sudden Roshan happens and the fight directly after. Like, these kills are going to be very worth if MINESKI can claim any of them, just because now they're starting to fall behind, and they are going to look for more. Ravage is down for 75 seconds. These are the windows of opportunity. When Spectral Horn is down, when Ravage is down, they can potentially fight. So they smoke up, they move to the bottom, as we're getting so much information. Keen already have an observer and so up the smoke break, and now hits. Who do you go on? The Fidget does connect over on two. Night Hunter is number one. They're going for the man to be. This is a hard ask. Up through rear as well. As the rock wall dissipates, Moon battling in the to catch Parker out. Once again, as well as they. But now, can they bigger ones? Can they pull off a 4? Into old 11 with a Requiem Souls. Razor, well, he won't do that much damage. The 200 maybe.
So MINESKI waiting for you. The bounty room on 30 minutes. Gold lead. If you get these fast, you can see which immediately be TPing. But that was perfect. You had no Ravage, no Hulk. You said yes, and yeah, the Hulk comes up eventually, but no Ravage used. That is key. MINESKI punished during the only window that Keen is weak. They needed that fight, even into Aegis. It does not matter. You can see they saved Spectre for last. He's got no friends to assist him with that damage reduction. And sure, you find that exit kill in the slaughter, but who cares? MINESKI got what they came for. 3 bounty rooms.
You asked what the play was. That was the play from MINESKI.
Yeah,
of course, now though, Keen will not allow that to happen again, and it cost them 2 buybacks. Like both supports from MINESKI had, like both the ES as well as the Wyvern had to buy back, but they're the sacrificial lambs.
Yeah, that was the first step though. If MINESKI can punish around the time of the Sin Roche spawn, suddenly they're right back in this game. In fact, I mean, they're in this game, don't get me wrong, but if you try and fight each other with all tools available for both sides, it still is heavily weighted in Keen's favor.
Yeah. So they just have to beat out these abilities. Like maybe that's why MINESKI is looking to engage onto the supports, get the big abilities out, and then you just like you kill the support, you already back off. Then you plan for the second fight. So it's almost like the loop.
Yeah, we shall see.
The BKB is now up for the Razor, so he's got a stronger way to stand in this fight. It's also amazing how much work KP was able to achieve. He was just never-ending hitting with that bash at the teeth. It's kind of crazy to see, like, just a casual Hearthstone makes so much sense on this ladder. And he's going to go in for that Shadow Blade.
Yep.
Another initiation, but someone who could potentially get the Silver Edge, the break mechanic.
You want to actually win this game, and
and it's not coming from Moon. Needs bigger items than a Silver Edge.
It's a good decision from KP. He recognizes, like, this is what is necessary. You will not win if you cannot realistically target Spectre in the middle of the fight, and if his dispersion is active, especially once he gets 6% tap at level 25, it just becomes impossible to take this hero down.
Have you also noticed too, continuously pursuing the toes? Trying to get him 5, and he's almost up an Assault Cuirass as well.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about his item build. Do you guys see that talent? Right? Do you know how much 250 damage represents as far as gold goes? That's a hair. Guys,
I'll have the conversation flowing. Jid's trying to push out the bottom, but this is a nice way for him to do it. Because they were able to deward the Observer and Sentry, they feel a lot more comfortable keeping the Lycan on the bot lane. And he's trying to build the same thing. He's still looking for the for his own Assault Cure.
Radiant are scanning.
Bit of a foothold in this game. But they've got to be prepared for this next fight. Keen is ready to go. They finish. Lightning does not.
This one makes them go after the units and active himself from the Nyx Assassin. So yeah, updates galore. The Keen game. And MINESKI are just dodging. They are hard dodging. Push out every other the item we get before King Gaming try and get high ground against us.
Yep.
And also get these buybacks back off cooldown. It's 3 minutes and 35 seconds before they're there.
You have a Butterfly now available for the Shadow Fiend. You're going to have Spectre picking up his in just a moment. There it is. So it's so crazy how close this game is, right? You've got the AC timing, almost identical points. The Butterfly was less than 30 seconds away. They know what they have to win. Just a question of who executes better.
I'm also liking just so much he's keeping his eyes on wherever Keen are going, and then he sends his Necro Books to then scout out the vision. So what did King Gaming try and get from this move? Was it just for a kill? Get counter vision up? And that was something which MINESKI always seemed to have, like, well, every team playing against Keen always had trouble with. How to superior vision. If this game does keep dragging on, like, the light has more and more time just to check with the Necro Books. But they'll smoke.
Okay,
Necros are off cooldown in 2 seconds time, looking for a fight. Moon feels very much a worm on a bed. And okay, he comes in, able to
Dire's top tower is falling.
off. In fact, he's able to get pumped. They really target.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Good force in the backlines. Jump! They got the guns! Oh, don't kill this guy! Around with the rest of the team! Good slap! Look at that! He goes down now! He's gonna change to finally get him down! Free in the group! No way to bring him back to life! They can't pay the boatman on the toll! Razor being hunted down by the like, but what do you do? He's trying to keep the Nyx who's buried under, and Ajik absolutely needs Kenny back.
Dude, the Crimson, like the damage reduction, the Nyx gets 40% when he's in that Axe form.
Dire's structures are fortified.
You don't know.
I don't kill anything. You can see, like, let it take something the entire time. It just didn't matter. Dude,
Can't believe they didn't. You killed the tide, you just pulled back. Like, you missed giving him a second Aegis. Auto 11's just so much damage. And MINESKI have no ability to kite, no ability to peek. They're losing their mid, they're losing their bottom, and they may just lose their top. Their tide is mortal.
they're going for Megas in one fight.
Yep.
Or not.
Like the
Roche
best.
is up in a sec.
Yeah, Wyvern's back up. That seems the biggest threat King Gaming was.
And partially also
Double duty.
but unfortunately, you want to be in this top side of the map. And look at the warding once again from Keen, just controlling this river area.
Got Roshan up in 20 seconds.
Yep. Torbs on the
Right now, Ty could probably.
I would agree. And remember, every time he anchors, he's also getting that life steal thanks to his Vlads in an AoE.
Nyx is already borrowing, and they need actually the sentry is in range. Same with Berserk. They may not realize, however, that there is that radiant sentry just in the crevice. So Febby can see that now. Yeah, Febby can see that now. Or can they? It's okay. Yeah, now they see it.
Look at the positioning. Spectre bottom, he's got ult if you need it, and they just play around with
I
the
can
Nyx.
fall. Tucker in position with the Necro.
Radiant's top
It's
tower
back off cool.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Tower and Rax used to stand. He'll buy back quick, but I'm not quite certain what they can achieve. Roshan is alive.
I'm not sure MINESKI knows either, man. All in right there. And giggled. Lotus Door, Lich Armor, the 40% reduction, 1.5% max HP regen. Like, good luck. Really, good luck, MINESKI. You cannot kill the thing. You do not have the damage.
Well, live on a prayer. That's what let's go for game one. King Gaming look unstoppable. They'll get Aegis and they'll get Cheese. Aegis in the hands of Beck, and it is Cheese being passed over to Razor.
And real quick, props to second, all right? How hard it is to get a character player to buy dust himself, all right? He had dust to find that Earthshaker, get on the back line, actually forced out the Febby buyback, but unfortunately, there's nothing to really buy back for. It's just one of those games where after it's over, I don't know how you even approach it. You look at it.
They're all trying to get Silver Edge right now. They're all realizing they need something to break. So Lycan's got one. KP, he's on the way, but he needs more time as well. Like, I'm wondering if you even start selling items right now in order to get the Silver Edge to give you some level of chance, but they're going to push bottom lane. Ravage is still available. Petrol Haunt is down for 17 seconds.
There's two tier 2s available, and if they get top Rex, Keen gets megas. You can't actually make this play as MINESKI. And remember, Spectre can just sit here no problem because he can haunt into the fight. Look at this tower!
Ninja Boogie, he needs to get a curse on the someone, but look at the distance. Keen Gaming and making sure they keep their distance away from Mod 11. Maybe not so now as it's a little closer. Next Assassin is kind of trapped in the corner. Slider wants to battle him. They're beating out the Spike Arrows, beating allows him to McKinney very effective, down for 80 seconds. They really needed him, and here's Pedro Horn, back off full of business play. They're ready to fight, and I think they're ready to. This game is done and dusted. Kill. They Gaming will take game 1 of this grand final against MINESKI. They do it in a very reductive.
I think I don't really know what to say. I feel like we all knew how this would end for the last 30 minutes.